4, 3, 2, 1.
What is the good word, everybody? This is your happy man's today. You know, we still beaming off that Saturday win, and this is the Dukes of football, and we're here again with you. So you already know how the one was coming dipped in maize and blue today for today's show. Man, oh man, am I still riding that high? I don't know. I don't, and I'm great that this is a football show because then you can understand. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at it. I'm dicking around with my settings. I was would have normally been a little more prepared and on time with starting the show, but I was talking to my daughter. She just got out of basketball practice and she was being interviewed by the Indianapolis Star, which is obviously our local paper here. So that was pretty exciting for her. You can hear all the good vibes in her voice. So it had me delayed a little bit. So, but as you can see, I am absolutely still beaming off of the the win by the Wolverines over the most hated rival Buckeyes. And I didn't even care that the Pittsburgh Steelers got their ass handed to them on Sunday. Didn't even care. Didn't care one bit because I was still definitely all in at 100% uh, um, sugar rush, whatever you want to call it, from Saturday's win. So it was a pretty good week. I hope you guys this week went well. I hope your Thanksgiving went well. I know we haven't talked since Thanksgiving. I hope your Thanksgivings went well. Got to see your peoples and all of those good things. Thanksgiving at the Thomas Barrett House was pretty status quo. You know what I'm saying? We normally do our things not so much on Thanksgiving Day because kids all spread out all over the place and different families doing different things. So we try to do our things a little bit later where we can get a hold of each other. So we did ours on Friday, and the wife and I chilled and watched football all day on Thanksgiving. I actually smoked the meats and made a little special deal. If you see the one's kitchen, you check that out on TikTok and see that video. But that's another day. But we're footballing up, so it was a great week for football. Great week for the basketball scene as well. But we are here to talk a good old fashioned footy ball. So Thanksgiving weekend is not just a big eating holiday here in Indiana. It is actually state football weekend. This is the weekend where you got the last two teams in the classes battling out for bragging rights for the next football season of being state champions. So there's my clicker. Where's my clicker? There it is. So it was a pretty fun weekend. I didn't get to watch too many of the games. I did peek in on some. They were on the local channel, but I peeked in a little bit. Looked like some pretty exciting games. I think there was I think for the most part, I got most of them right. I think I picked a couple wrong, but pretty cool. So let's check it out. Run through those champions, give them their congrats, and then we'll keep it moving. Let's see here. The Class A state champions were Indianapolis Lutheran. They complete their undefeated season at 15-0, and they win the state in that class. The state 2A champion was Adrian, and they finished at 12-3 for the the 2A state title. And then we have Gibson Southern for the I'm all on the wrong kind of no here. Let me switch that real quick. It's real easy. Let me do this right here. Bow. Okay. Now we're where we're supposed to be. Boop-a-doo-ba-doo. Boop-a-doo. Just moseying along. All right, back to the 3A. So you got Gibson Southern, who moved to 14-1 to finish the season with the state title. They defeated Brebeuf Jesuit, and in a looked like it was a pretty good thumping. So and then so that's what you got for the state 3A championship. Then you move down to we go to the 4A. That was Mount Vernon and Northridge. Mount Vernon went ahead and completed their season, finishing 14-1 with the state title. Way to go, everybody over Mount Vernon. Got a couple friends. We had an ex-sponsor, a young lady I used to participate on the coaching staff with out there. Good job for the Mount Vernons. I have no idea what their thing is. I have no clue. So we moved to the 5A state champ. We stayed home with the Cathedral Irish, finishing their season at 14-1. They were going against who they going? Zionsville at 9-5. Zionsville did with a 9-5 record. Obviously, they had a good run towards the end of the year, going into the state tournament. So they got all the way to the I think they were in the state final against them last year. I could be wrong, but I know Cathedral wins back-to-back. Again, I think this is like their 90th state title. They keep going from 4 to 5 to 6A because they keep turning out championships. They keep putting out NFL players. So congratulations to the Irish. They went back-to-back for the 5A. And then, again, we finished it out with the top class, the 6A state champions, Center Grove. Again, another back-to-back champion and another undefeated season for Center Grove, 14-0. They took out Westfield. No, it's Westfield who was in the state game last year, I think. I don't know, but good game. Center Grove is like the new powerhouse here in the state, so they complete their back-to-back run. So let's see if they can keep that trend going. Oh, so there you have it for the high school state champs. So let's move right on into some NCAA talk. And this one, you know what? We're not even going to mess around with this. I mean, this is what we're doing. My bookie NCAA Man Cave Chatter, 50% off your deposit match up to $1,000 and a free $10 bet at mybookie.ag. All right, so we're not going to do it like we normally do for college football talk, because really the only thing that is relevant as of moment is that we have our Final Four, and we're going into our pretty much the last relevant week and deciding who will participate in those those semi whatever the hell it's called before the final game, those Final Four teams, the semifinals. That's it. So, this is the last relevant week with conference championships. Let's see, but I think there might be something. I guess we have to talk about it. I don't know how you guys feel about the coaching changes that we've had in the last couple of days, of how these things have worked, so to speak. I don't know. I mean, I can't knock somebody from going to get that money. The only thing that I'm really looking at is the fact that these kids put their trust in these coaches, and they sign with these schools because of these coaches. Now, some of these kids sign with these schools because that's where they want to go to school. You know what I mean? I get it. You know what I mean? That's where you always want to go. I just want to go. I'm like, if I'm pretty sure, if my son was able to have that pick of the litter, you know what I mean? He probably want to go to Michigan. I mean, I can see him doing that. But the end thing is these kids go to these schools for these coaches and they sign these commitments and they have other opportunities that are now taken away because they committed to you and you have not really truly committed to these kids. You know what I mean? Whatever. I can't knock your hustle. Do what you do. But the end result is the kids are the ones who have to deal with the change, so to speak. I think Oklahoma, like after the decision of Lincoln Riley leaving, I think half their commits just was like, "Yep, I'm uncommitted now." You know what I'm saying? I think the same thing is going to happen in Notre Dame. They're going to lose a whole lot of commits. I mean, I'm not really sure how good Brian Kelly is going to be down at LSU, but I know his timetable is not going to be um, as liberal as he had here in South Bend because down at LSU they've won national championships within 3 years of their coaches, and they just won one a couple years ago with Argeron. You know what I mean? So we'll see how he go. You know what I mean? He's been to the college playoff. He's in all those things, but the end result is he ready for the SEC? I mean, he's a good coach. We'll see. I'm interested to see who they replace with at Notre Dame. I know the Urban Meyer has already started. No one knows if he's going to quit on those professional men because he's not really able to control them like he does. I don't know if Notre Dame is even willing to deal with that type of. I don't know. I mean, how bad do they want to win? I mean, type of thing. So there you go with that. All right, I don't have anything else for that. So what we'll do, we'll just go over instead of doing normal our normal picks. By the way, here is the CFP Final Four. As of right now, you have number one Georgia, number two Michigan. Ooh, holla at your boy, number two Michigan, 11-1. We killing it right now. They hating on us, but anyway, number three Alabama and number four Cincinnati. Big games this week. We will discuss them coming up right now. So we kind of mixed in our NCAA talk with our Doc Sports NCAA picks of the week, brought to you by Doc Sports. Text BWSPORTS1 to 29022 for your free $60 in picks. So we kind of mashed those together because the only games that we have are the conference championship games. And all these games pretty much matter except for the Pac-12, but it's a Power 5, so I had to put it in there. Pretty much all these games matter, just determining those final four participants. So we'll start off with the Pac-12. Oregon, number 10, Oregon at number 17, Utah. These teams just played a few weeks ago. Utah thumped them pretty well. Actually, I think they had them to a shutout, no points allowed. I didn't see anything in the win over Oregon State that would allow me to think that they have figured out what Utah can do. I think Utah will, go follow the same game plan. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you didn't put up any points, the game plan was real solid. I'm sure there'll be some tweaks in there somewhere. But Oregon, I wasn't really high on Oregon all year. My upset pick in that conference was UCLA first, Utah second. So I'm doing okay on that one. And I'm going to stay true to form. And I'm going to take Utah. I'm going to take Utah 35-14. I feel they're going to thump them again, but it's going to still be I think they're going to get a couple points, but I think it's going to still be the same end result. Let's see. Our next game, we'll move to the Big 12. This game obviously matters. Number 9 Baylor versus number 5 Oklahoma. That says Oklahoma, but it should say Oklahoma State. Here, you know what? I can fix that right now, real quick in a hurry. Booyah. Ow. Instant gratification. So you got number 9 Baylor going against number 5 Oklahoma State. This is actually a game that does matter, as in if somebody in the top 4 lose, this could determine who can sneak in if Oklahoma State can go ahead and take out Baylor. Baylor, to me, is a real good feel-good story for their program. They've had those sanctions and those issues a couple years ago where they were on, the naughty list. And, they revamped their culture, revamped everything about the program. And here you are on the outside chance, a very, very outside chance of making it, but your thing has turned around. So I am going to stick with the culture change, and I'm going to go with Baylor. Go with Baylor 42-37 for the upset win over whoever the hell they're playing, Oklahoma State. So then that takes us to the most dreaded SEC. All right, so their game is number 1 Georgia, number 3 Alabama. So this game absolutely determines a whole lot of what's going on in the playoff. So if Georgia wins, obviously Georgia's in. Alabama has 2 losses, and then you're flirting with the Alabama going over a 1 loss or an undefeated Cincinnati, or a 1 loss Oklahoma State, a 1 loss Notre Dame. The bad thing for Notre Dame is Notre Dame does not have another game to play. And I think it's kind of shady that, you got another game to play, boy. You got a bowl game. You got an opportunity to be in the Final Four, and you are abandoning those kids and you're going to LSU. I think if that's your choice, that's fine. You should have finished out the season, kept that shit quiet, and finished out the season and gave those kids an opportunity. But now they can't give you or give anybody else full focus. You know what I mean? So, but that's just my rant. But anyway, Georgia looks really tough. Georgia is defense heavy and coming around on the offense. I mean, the 2 quarterback thing they got going on is a little weird. Not mean weird as weird, but it's a funny dynamic how they just keep flip-flopping, kind of like how Harbaugh does, but not but on a higher level. So Georgia's defense is the best defense in the country. Alabama's defense is not Saban defense. His offense is electrifying, but this is the best defense, and their offense is better than Alabama's defense. So I am going to go with Georgia 35-24 in a convincing win in Atlanta. All right, I'm sorry. That was just something going on there. So our next game takes us to the AAC, which is the American Athletic Conference. This is not a Power 5 conference. This is a other 5 or whatever it's called. But anyway, this game is obviously important because the fact that Cincinnati is in that top 4 and Houston does have an opportunity and an offense that can put up points that can challenge Cincinnati. Cincinnati loses this game, obviously they're out. If Houston makes this game anywhere competitive, I think that it opens up the door for a 2-loss Alabama to jump them, or I don't think you can't put Notre Dame above them if they lose. If they don't lose, even if it's a loss, a close game, you can't put Notre Dame. I think you put anybody else above them, but you can't put Notre Dame because they went up there and won that game so convincingly. So they have to win this game, and I think they have to make sure they put a good thumping on them just to secure their spot in the Final Four, because they are looking to find a way to make sure they keep Cincinnati out, because they don't want that other 5 to even throw a wrench in the system at all until they can expand it. So saying that, I'm going Cincinnati 42-20. All right, we move down to the ACC. ACC. Number 15, Pittsburgh, at number 16, Wake Forest. I haven't watched a whole lot of Pittsburgh at all this year. Seen a couple games at Wake Forest. Wake Forest had a little slide here towards the end of the season, but they still managed to put themselves in the conversation or in the game of winning the ACC. Don't have a chance of being in the Final Four, but they do have a chance of getting a good bowl, some good bonus monies. So saying that, I am going Wake Forest 32-30. All right, so we end all things with the final game of the night, which is the Big Ten championship down the street. You got number 2 Michigan Wolverines with a dominating, impressive, bullying. I'm tired of your shit. You're really not as good as you think you are type of game against the Buckeyes. It looked good from the very start, from the kickoff of the first drive, marched right down the field and scored a touchdown. Didn't want to get too high, but I saw a new little feel. I saw a different look in the team, how that went about. And then you come back again and you get the ball on a short field. You got it, and then I would rather you punch that in, but you held well. I don't know. It was a really good game. Ohio State threw their shots, they threw their punches, but we stayed to the game plan. It's going to hard to beat somebody who gives up 5 touchdowns to one person. So it was really excited. I mean, all the peoples was good. The family was good. I was yelling out the cul-de-sac. You know what I'm saying? I was doing all that good. But anyway, rematch game. Michigan beat Iowa earlier in the season. Iowa was a little healthier now. Iowa was a tough team. Iowa was a proud team. They would love to get some get back and just destroy what hopes that Michigan has to stand in that Final Four, being in the 2 spot. You're not going to jump Georgia. So staying in that 2 spot looks pretty good. Right now, it looks like you'll be playing Alabama, but with that, them playing Georgia. So I'm pretty sure that most likely you'll end up playing Cincinnati, maybe even Oklahoma State. So just got to stay strong. You can't have any lows. You can't have such a big emotional win and, oh, my God, that's the season. And you just forget that Iowa wants some get back. You know what I'm saying? You can't think that you still have a mission to go. The goal was to win the Big Ten championship, and here you are in that position. So now you have to go complete that mission and put yourself in a chance to win a national championship. The first since 97, the first outright since 83. So, we was trying to get our stuff together. But so you already know where I'm going. I don't even need to give you a score, just Michigan. That's the end result. Michigan. Whatever it do, when it do, because it do, how it do. So there you have it. Those are the picks, and those are the conference championships, conference championship picks. And so before we dive into our NFL picks, yes, before we dive into our NFL picks, I have something for you. There you go. Welcome back. Make sure if you're trying to work off that Thanksgiving meal and that upcoming Christmas meal, make sure you check our guys out over at Elite Performance. They'll get you back into that good old shape. That shape that's not just round. Check them out. 765-499-1005. Get yourself back into that good shape. All right. Not even gonna dick around with it too much tonight. Let's see, what do we got for NFL talk? We can go through it real quick. Packers top of the NFC. Really, they position themselves to be that number one seed. Good win. You know what I mean? Good spacing. And rolling well. If you got a running game with Aaron Rodgers, man, it's hard to bet best against him. You know, right now the Packers are playing the best. If you look at it, if you look at the power rankings for week 13, they're at number one. You know what I mean? They've answered the bell. You know what I mean? They won games. They won the right games. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to bet against them. You know what I mean? Health is a big thing, and they're starting to get key people back. I know they did lose an offensive lineman; it was clutch, but you got some guys coming back on that offense. So, yeah, if you look down at Cardinals are still pecking, the Bucks are back there, but I mean, I think the Packers have clearly established themselves as the top team in the NFC. Coming out of that, let's see. You have Brady back in Indy this week. Looks like Brady once again has established the fact that, no matter what uniform he wears, he owns Indianapolis. I mean, you had such a quality lead, and you just let him come back and take it. I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you, it's the exact same reason that you went on the 5-game winning streak, because your offense coordinator listened to me when I told you to run the ball with Jonathan Taylor. An absolute magnificent runner, and he could win you games. You know what I'm saying? You win you games, but you was not running. You abandoned. You know what I'm saying? Just gave up on it. And then you put the game in Carson Wentz's hands, and it's clearly shown that Carson Wentz cannot do that. And it was funny how they talked about it so bad, and then they put the guy back in the what the hell am I talking about? I don't know. Something on the TV I was watching kind of threw me off. But whatever. I forgot. Don't care. So it's moving on since I can't. Oh, Brady. You depended on Carson Wentz to try to win your games, and he can't do it. He's shown it. He's proven it. And I don't know why we continue to do that. And then when you put the ball in Jonathan Taylor's hands, and you can see how quickly you gave yourself an opportunity to win the game at the end, and you had to put yourself in his plays, in his spot to win the game, and you knew that he could not do it. So, run the ball. Indy. Brady owns Indy. He just continues to do so. Steelers. Bad spot, bro. I don't really know what to say. Ben Roethlisberger is my favorite Steeler player of all time, but I think right now it's about time to we don't have a better option, so you got to play him out to the end of the season and hope for the best. But I think it's time for us to move in a different direction. Yeah, I got to give me an all-white Roethlisberger jersey before he gets on the out of here, but that's what has to be done at this particular moment. We need to move on with the next option. Aaron Rodgers is going to be available. Russell Wilson is going to be available. Not really sure if there's a whole lot of the draft that you can look at. I like those two options. They got a short-term plan right now. I heard some Phillip Rivers talk, but I'm not really keen on that. So, but bad spot. Let's get on up out of here. Looks like we're going to find out who's the best in the AFC when it comes down Monday night. The Patriots. Wow. That's all I can say. Rookie quarterback. Wow. There's a reason why he's the GOAT. Tom's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. You got to look at it that way. All right. So moving on. Doc Sports NFL Picks of the Week brought to you by Doc Sports Picks. Text BWSPORTS1 to 29022 for your free $60 in picks. All right. So moving on. Game one. We have the Chargers and the Bengals. You look at these records, you're like, why would he pick these games? Why? Because they're between two top-tier young quarterbacks. You got Justin Herbert and you got Joe Burrow. So if you look at it, it's like, which way do you go? Herbert started off well, especially last year, but the Chargers have been slipping a little bit this year. Joe Burrow has had these guys playing great football. You just swept my Steelers 3 in a row. First time you swept, 30 years you swept them. And then, all that good stuff. So here we go with that. So I like them. Bengals. I'm going Bengals 37-21. Game 2. Game of the week. Here we go. We talked about it. Patriots 8-4, Bills 7-4. When Brady left, everybody was like, well, it has to be the Bills who's supposed to take over. Rookie quarterback, barely beat out Cam Newton. Now we know why he beat out Cam Newton. Now we know the future of all these things. And you see where he's gotten this very talented young quarterback. I mean, oh wow, is this precision passing? I mean, but look, he came into the situation very well. There's really not a whole lot of differences between what's run in Alabama and what's ran in New England. I mean, they basically the same. Two hard-nosed guys that run a precise offense that gets executed by some of the best minds in the game, thinking persons in the game. If you look at what he did in Alabama and you look at what he's doing in New England, it's pretty much the same thing. So the Bills are on the slide. They got thumped by the coach pretty good. They haven't looked very well. And plus, you lost to the Steelers. So, so we got one up on them. And so I'm going to go with the Patriots and continue this streak, moving on and continue their dominance of the AFC East, 30-24. So, upset game of the week. I am going with the Bears 4-7 over the 9-2 Cardinals. The Cardinals just haven't looked as electrifying, as dynamic as they did early in the year. I know injuries has a lot to do with it. This Bears team has looked well since the head coaching role has looked like it's shifted to a group of people under Matt Nagy, and he's just, the figurehead. Justin Fields was started coming in the play, and he was a little hurt, banged up. And then the big redhead comes in and does good work. So I see Chicago, if they don't pull off the upset, they will make this a very competitive one. So I like this. I like the Bears in this one. And then we go to my money game. I smell bacon. Ooh, I smell bacon. Of course, you smell bacon. You made bacon before the show. I'm a funny guy. So we go with this one. Is the Rams favorite 13 over the Jaguars. The over under is 48. I am going to go with the Jaguars 13 plus 13 and the under. The Jaguars have been actually playing decent football the last few weeks, got a couple wins, but they have been playing decent football the last couple weeks. Games have been competitive. Trevor Lawrence is starting to find his footing as an NFL quarterback and starting to feel the game, the speed of the NFL game. Excuse me. Defense is holding up very well. And the thing is that Trevor Lawrence and the offense is not putting the defense in bad situations. He's starting to read defenses pretty well. And they start to brush out a lot of, or block out a lot of the Urban Meyer negative talk that tends to plague him everywhere he goes. So, all the scandals earlier in the year. And then now you're starting to hear, the conversations about Notre Dame. Is he coming back to college? Will he be fired? Will he quit? All those type of stuff. So, but the end result, Jaguars are playing pretty good. And the Rams are not playing pretty good. So I am going to go with the spread, and I'm going to take the Jaguars plus and the under. So there you have it, folks. Episode 20, what is it, 28? Episode 28, Dukes of Football. Those are your picks. It's going to be some excellent games this weekend for college. They're in the conference championships. So you're going to determine. So we'll know Sunday at 6 o'clock, who those final games are going to be and how we're going to celebrate our New Year's. Am I going to celebrate with new Michigan gear because it is in the Final Four, or I'll be wearing my recycled for a regular bowl game? Who knows? But there's some good games up. It's going to be pretty exciting. NFL is going to be some really good matchups. Check them out other than our own. And again, congratulations to all 6 of our Indiana State football champions, and for the Lion, and for the One, and for the BW Sports One family. We are out. Holla.